Om. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapihitam mukham tattvam pushannapavranu satyadharmaya drishtaye. Our topic this evening is inspired by a line from the 15th mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad, which is, as all of you know, from Shukla Yajurveda. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya mukham apihitam pihitam. The face of truth is covered by a golden lid or a golden disc. The disc is golden, and anything that is golden is very attractive. Who would ignore something golden? Don't we say, this is a golden opportunity, grab it. This is a golden chance, don't miss it. So golden is not something to be missed. But alas, in the context where this mantra appears in the Ishavasya Upanishad, in the Vedantas, it is a bit different. Golden and therefore very attractive, and therefore we are not asked to grab it. We are asked to be extremely careful and not fall for it. Sita fell for the golden deer, and Lord Ram himself, whose birthday is day after tomorrow, as a part of his Leela, as a part of his mission in that avatar, goes after the golden deer. And rest of it is so much of trouble. In many places, you and I have the custom of referring to anything nice, good as Ramayana and anything terrible as Mahabharata. Suppose in some house all the brothers are fighting, then you and I from a distance whisperingly say, oh, that family, there is Mahabharata every day. So in the Ramayana, Mahabharata is unleashed following Sita asking for the golden deer and Ram going after the golden deer. That goes well with this Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apihitam mukham. The face of truth is covered, blocked. Our vision is blocked. Our view is obstructed by nothing less than a golden lid. But you and I now inquire, what under the sun is this golden lid? I tell you, the higher you go, almost everything in the world which is otherwise regarded as very desirable, very awesome, very praiseworthy, something to be sought after, all of them come under this golden lid, and rather than helpful, they are the cause for our bondage. So those who have made a lot of money, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, in our country Ambani, Adani and others, the Upanishad would say they are very comfortably with the golden lid. Really? So much of wealth don't you want? Some wise man said, listen carefully, very wittily he said, somebody was very poor because wealth was all that he had. Somebody was very poor because wealth was all that he had. Wealth alone does not mean much at all. Some wealthy people also have wisdom. We had a Maharaja of Mysore in the 60s, Jayachamarajendra Vodayar. He was the king of Mysore state. Indira Gandhi had not yet removed the privy purse. He was getting certain amount from the Republic of India. Otherwise, also more than money, he did have, he commanded great respect from people. So he was a wealthy king, and in addition, he had interest in music, he had interest in Vedanta. He, in fact, came to Puja Swami Chinmayanandaji's lecture on occasions. And then about such men or such women who have a lot of wealth but who have certain, wonderful tastes. I don't know much about Neeta Ambani, but living in Mumbai for a few years now, having visited her center near Bandra Kurla complex, I, with my limited knowledge, lift my hat off for Neeta Ambani, Mukesh's wife. She has great taste for music, dance, and other arts. She herself is a dancer. And if you have some time when you next time go to Mumbai, please do see Neeta Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center. It's a fabulous place. You will be proud of India having such a magnificent place where exhibitions are held, shows are held, and just to go inside and take a round and come out can make you happy. But going back to the wise man one last time, it was a very pithy statement. There was a wealthy man who was very poor. How was he poor? Because wealth is all that he had, nothing else. Especially if we don't have loving and lovable relationships, we are very poor. So, what does this golden lid cover? Mere wealth, this golden lid. Then there are many who pride over their education. I have a degree from Harvard. I have a PhD from Oxford. My MBA is from the most reputed university or institute of management. I am a faculty at Yale. I came on a holiday to Bangalore today, and so on. They are proud of their scholarship as universities provide, and many of us also envy them. But Ishavasya says mere scholarship, being an expert, even being a Nobel Prize winner, is golden lit. Go close to them, meet those professors. They are envious of each other. They are not comfortable with somebody else being praised more. The rich, the scholarly, and the politicians, of course, are grinding their teeth all the time about somebody else, about the opposition party, maybe, or within their own party, somebody getting ahead, or this being the election time. All of us know all over the country there have been some cases. Somebody who was with a party for maybe 20, 25 years had been given many positions also, had been given many chairs to occupy. This time, let us say he was not given the ticket to contest on behalf of that party in the Lok Sabha election. That person is so angry, calls names at all other leaders. resigns from the party which had given him so much and says, I will fight independently. I will beat this man who is given the ticket. If I am not given the ticket, so when the ego is dancing in us, we are very much stuck in the golden lid. Then comes even various other bureaucratic positions. Today, IAS, etc., is not much fancied, though it's still for certain communities and certain people, it is the goal, it is the target. But various other careers have come. Many daughters and sons of senior IAS officers don't go for IAS. But there was, and to some extent there is also, a lot of awe about being a senior bureaucrat who has so much power, who comes somewhere accompanied by so much of police, who signs on some document and the land goes from this person to that person, and so on and so forth. But Ishavasya would say, all of them are worldly. There is a short Tulsidas Doha. I don't know from where it is, nor do I know that by heart. But it says, a rich man thinks that the little king of the small country is happier than me. The king thinks, Raja thinks Maharaja, king of a larger country, is happier than him. Maharaja thinks Indra in the heaven is happier than him. Indra thinks Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma is happier, and it goes on. Everybody is looking at someone else and is feeling rather behind. And Tulsidas ends that Doha saying, anybody, no matter what they are, king or Maharaja or Indra or Brahma or all that, anybody who does not enjoy bhajan, who is not into bhajan, who is not even now skilled enough to turn mind within and place it at the feet of Lord Ram, is unhappy. Therefore, if you truly are seeking happiness, Goswami Tulsidas' advice is pursue bhakti, work on awakening bhakti in your heart. Then, whether you are a common man or a king, whether you are on the earth or in the heaven, if you have developed or gained that extraordinary ability to fix your mind in Ram, in God, then you are happy. Ram is where you reach when you reject the golden lid. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapahitam mukham tattvam pushan. Pushan literally means, oh sun, S-U-N, or it means God. God, because pushnati means to nourish. It is God who nourishes all of us. It is God who makes us walk, talk. It's God who digests our food. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritaha Pranapano Samo Bhutva Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. Doesn't he say in the Gita? It is I who digest Pachami Annam Chaturvidam. God makes the rivers to flow, and we need to understand that Pushan, God who nourishes us, he is capable of removing that golden lid. Tattvam Pushan Apavranu Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye. You are Satya, oh God, you are Satya. And I have been doing your upasana. And therefore, doing your upasana, you who is Satya has become the center of my life. I pray to you, remove this golden lid. All through the great scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, we have this thought running through all the scriptures. In the Brihadaranyaka, there is the famous mantra. Everybody knows the mantra. Not all may know it is from Brihadaranyaka. Asatoma Satgamaya. Golden lid is Asat, or Asat is golden lid. Let me not be stuck with this golden lid, however shining it may be. Let me go see the truth. Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye. For me to see the truth which is otherwise obstructed by the golden lid, O Pushan, O the great nourisher, O Lord Almighty, please remove this golden lid. The ramifications of this golden lid are many indeed. If you want a simple explanation of golden lid, any attachment you and I have is a golden lid. To have a spouse, wife or husband is not golden lid. But I am attached to her. I am attached to him. Meaning I have fancy thoughts. I think that I am going to take care of her in the fullest sense. Actually, I may be doing my bit, but if she is alive, I am 94, she is 92, she is alive, we should not make the mistake of patting ourselves on the back, saying, I took such good care of her, she should not be proud. So I, me and my, whatever we do is rightly called 2 cents. 98 cents in a dollar, 2 versus 98 is done by God. Actually, even the 2 that we in essence are doing is possible because God is empowering us. In the light of it, attachment is the golden plate. Can we do everything that we are doing with the understanding? Any moment, I may no more be able to do it, or I may no more be required to do it. Because we are all caught in moha, some delusion, some bhranti, some brahma or the other. Sometimes we even quote scriptures to justify our being with things. Bank balance, family, more acquisitions, attending parties, wanting to be in limelight. All that we say, no, I believe in being active. I live an active life. And we say sometimes, didn't King Janaka continue in the palace in spite of listening to a lot of spiritual wisdom? He continued in the palace and ran the kingdom or the administration. So I am also like Janaka. We sometimes say, long back, probably 1988, I dropped in at the Ramakrishna Mission in Bengaluru, Bull Temple Road, very fabulous place. I have been going from childhood whenever I came to Bangalore. Now also I get a chance, I visit Sri Ramakrishna Mission. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, many of us went to Ramakrishna Mission in car, Mumbai. To step inside Ramakrishna Mission is always delight. Anyway, I went and there was a certain very learned Swami, wonderful singer too, at that time, Swami Purushottamananda. I met him. I had a chance to see him and I asked him a question. Swamiji, I was not a Swamiji at that time. In fact, 88, I was teaching at BIT as Vani rightly introduced me. 86 to 89, I was a college lecturer. So I went to Ramakrishna Mission, which was just 1 kilometer maybe from the college where I was teaching, and said, Swamiji, is it really necessary to renounce? Did not King Janaka stay in the palace? And yet we believe he was enlightened. And Purushottamananda said something. For a moment I didn't understand. He answered me in Kannada, since I had asked also the question in Kannada, that doesn't matter. He said, well, yeah, people talk about Janaka. Haven't all of them become Janakas? Agidaralla ella Janaka. Ellaru Janakaragidaralla. He tauntingly said. Haven't all of them become Janakas? For a moment I said, what is he saying? And then it flashed. He said that, taking the word Janaka as father. Father, and of course by implication, what he meant was, they, most of them, 99 out of 100, with good intentions maybe, with good dreams, but finally they got so caught in family matters. They got caught in attachment. To marry is not Maya. To be father by itself is not Maya, father or mother. To beget children also is not Maya. To be attached. And there is a very thin line dividing or separating detachment and attachment. And for those who have the eyes to see, it is very thick line. But for those of us who don't have much viveka, they look alike. It seems a young boy of 16, in one of the stories Swami Akhandanandji of Vrindavan used to narrate, a young boy of age 16 somehow was attending all satsangs of any Swami who came to the town. His father and mother were noticing. The mother was getting a bit anxious. At the age of 16, if our son is going so much to sadhus and spending time with them after the lecture also, if the Swamiji says, oh, come on, come with me. And this boy would go with the Swamiji to some house for some prasad. There is some extended satsang there. He would come home late. The mother thinking, what is he doing? And as the mother feared, the 16-year-old boy one day said, Ma, Appa, I am thinking of going with this Swamiji. I'll join his ashram in Rishikesh. They were aghast. Especially the mother was aghast. I must say, mother was aghast. Oh, this is not, I did not want. No, we will lose our son and so on. The father apparently kept quiet. And that time the son somehow did not go. After another 2 months, another Swamiji came, this time from Gujarat. And this boy was so excited, he said he would go with that Swamiji to the ashram in Gujarat. Then again he did not go somehow. And the third time some other Swamiji came from Orissa. Any Swamiji comes, the boy would attend some lectures, come home and with almost tears in eyes would say, I think I will go with the Swamiji. Then the father one morning said, because mother was crying, he will go now, he will go. Next Swamiji comes, he will just vanish from this town. The father said, it seems, those who really renounce, how they do? The mother said, how? What do you mean? There was a towel hanging on the wall, on a little nail or some hook. The father took that towel, put it upon his shoulder, and said to his wife, the mother of the 16-year-old boy, those who say we are leaving home, leave like this. And he just stepped out of the home, walked a few steps. The mother was seeing, oh, he's demonstrating. He's showing us how somebody who really renounces walks. She thought like that. But he walked and walked and walked and he just disappeared, vanished into nowhere. Then she said, where did your father go? Beta, my son, Maga, Hogu, run after him. The boy ran, but the boy could not find the father at all. The father actually left home and went away. Take it with a grain of salt. This is not to be imitated by all of you. Please don't tomorrow morning say to your wife, or if ladies here, don't say to your husbands, you know how we renounce? Just go. First of all, you won't go very far. After a few steps, you will look back and say, are they still watching me? But in that illustrative story, it is like they say, no, barking dogs do not bite and biting dogs do not bark. The son was all the time saying, but did not leave. The father was a very quiet person and he just left and went away. To pierce the golden lid, to get rid of the golden lid, golden disc or golden cover, and see the truth as it is, what is required is tyaga, is vairagya, is the sword of asanga. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva tatapadam tat parimargitavyam. This 15th chapter of Gita. Asang ek shastra hai. Take that shastra and cut asunder. Don't cut asunder any physical thing. Don't cut anybody's throat, Shiva Shiva, Rama Rama. Cut your attachment. Cut off your attachments. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Samsara vriksham. As you know, the 15th chapter of the Gita talks about not the world so much as the worldly existence. We are worldly. Why blame the world? Why blame the mall near our house? We have fancy, we have desire. Again and again going there. If we have money, buy this, buy that. If we don't have money, do some window shopping. And one day I will buy that. Right now I can't afford it. I hope very soon I will have the money to buy that. That kind of psychological disturbances are to be cut. Don't burn the mall. Let the mall be. Let the mall supply things to people who need. But if I have a fancy, I have a weakness for buying, for shopping, for food, for drinks, and so on, that needs to be examined. Therefore, an Upanishad itself says, Tyage naike amritattva manashu, na karmana na prajaya dhanena, tyage na eke amritattva manashu. Literally, eke means some attained liberation by renunciation, but otherwise what it means is through renunciation, any one of us can rise. Now, how does this golden lid come about? How do we get caught in all kinds of attachments? Even Swamis and Brahmacharis also get attached. One Brahmachari was posted in a very nice town in Andhra Pradesh, and he was doing well, conducting Gita classes and puja and various celebrating festivals. A lot of good reports came to the headquarters in Chennai, some spiritual organization. They were very happy. Okay, this brahmachari is doing well. And then there was some need for a brahmachari at some other center. They transferred him. And he said to them, please don't transfer. I am very comfortable here. His guru said, if you are very comfortable in this town, that is one more reason for us to transfer you, because you should not get attached to the place. God, that brahmachari then next morning Gita class, he had 200 people attending. He said, my headquarters is transferring me from this town to another town, which is 300 miles away. And he was very emotional. That affected the audience. All the audience had a meeting afterwards and they did a signature campaign. They wrote to the headquarters, this Brahmachari ji has been serving here and he has really generated a lot of interest. Please, for heaven's sake, do not take him away, etc. In a sense, this Brahmachari had made them write that signature campaign, right? So, attachment is hard to avoid. Attachment is like quicksand. Dal dal, they say in Hindi. More you try to get up, you sink deeper. So, how does it happen? Somebody like J. Krishnamurti would say, by deciding to be detached, nothing will happen. He even criticizes this concept of cultivating detachment. Krishnamurti never liked that kind of language, cultivating detachment. He said, if you cultivate detachment, you will actually be developing, you will actually be cultivating indifference and insensitivity. In the name of detachment, you care less for problems of the world, you care less for how others suffer, etc. Then what is the way out? Having mentioned Krishnamurti's name, let me tell you, J. Krishnamurti would say, his Ramabana, Ramban, his remedy, his panacea for all ailments, all diseases is attention. If you are attentive, when attachment arises in your mind, when you feel like holding on to somebody, holding on to something, holding on to some place, whatever, can you watch that more carefully? It is through inattention, it is through lack of attention that you become more and more attached. Alas, in Viveka Chudamani, there is a shloka. As you know, Viveka Chudamani, with some 581 verses, is a wonderful piece of Sanskrit literature with so many metaphors, beautiful poetry. Of course, mainly it presents solid Advaita Vedanta. In that there is a shloka. Let me tell you the English meaning first. Somebody had carried a ball with which we play, kanduka. A ball in Sanskrit is called kanduka. And there was a very long staircase. 110 steps he climbed up the staircase and was a bit tired. At the top of the staircase, by a little carelessness, by a little inattention, see, lack of attention, by a little bit of losing his watchfulness, he just dropped that ball. And he, I don't want to again go down and bring it. But it fell 2 steps, then it jumped and fell 10 steps further down, then maybe another 12 steps further down. And before he could realize what was happening, the ball, which he brought all the way up, was deep down 120 steps. That's what happens if you and I are not careful. If you and I remain overactive, you and I do only habitually driven things. We don't pause and think. We don't stop and question ourselves. So that is expressed Lakshyachyutam ched yadi chittamishad bahirmukam sat nipate tatastataha pramadatah prachyuta keli kandukah sopana panktau patito yatha tatha. Sopana panktau, on a stair of steps. Keli kandukaha, a ball that is used for playing. Yatha patitaha, upon falling, goes further down and down. Like that, lakshyat chutam chittam. Our mind somehow has forgotten the goal of life, forgotten the paramount duty of ours in life. Lakshachutam ched yadi chittam ishad. A little bit we got distracted. You had it. Bahirmukam sat chittam. Mind then becomes more and more extrovert. The mind becomes bahirmukh. Nipatet tatastataha. It would fall from there to another point, from there to another point further down below. Lakshachutam ched padit. Laksham chutam. Lakshachutam ched yadi chittamishad. Bahirmukam sannipate tatastataha. Pramadata prachuta keli kandukaha. Sopana pantau patito yathatata. Terrific illustration. Some of us may be very learned. We might have read Gita 100 times. Yet, this can happen to us. Therefore, once more, the gold lid is not wife and children, husband and relatives, etc. No. Why blame them? They are all, well, they are struggling in their own way. Our attachment. We think they are holding us, they are pulling us down. Actually, it is we who want to be pulled, who want to be pulled down. If one day we don't get any phone call, we will be lifting the mobile and checking what is not working. Instead of saying, nobody is disturbing me today. Today let me do some dhyana, japa. Somebody was meditating, and in 20 minutes meditation, 3 times he got up and went and checked whether there was any WhatsApp message. Rama Rama. Will the sky fall? Will the roof fall? If the messages stay for a little while. But he was very curious, very, very eager to know. Especially he had sent a message just before sitting for the so-called meditation, and his mind was thinking, has she replied? Maybe she has not. Maybe she has replied. Let me just check. This is called such weakness. Tyagaye naike amritattva manusha. 12th chapter of Gita, there's a punchline by Lord Sri Krishna. Tyagat shantihi anantaram. Antaram means gap. Anantaram means without a gap, instantly. If you are able to let go of your attachment, which can happen only through viveka, vairagya would arise, and therefore you and I need to do viveka. Doing viveka means we must develop the nature. If our nature has been to be very impulsive, I see some jalebi. Jalebis are meant to be eaten. Go eat. That is impulsive behavior. Whereas, what is viveka? I feel like eating jalebi, but maybe I should not. But it's very tempting. It is tempting, but let me not eat. With one or two steps of self-education, self-advice, if you are able to turn away from jalebi. Of course, the context is where it is not advisable. I am not saying you should never eat jalebi. Spirituality is never against enjoyment per se. But enjoyment misplaced, ill-placed, and enjoyment out of proportion, enjoyment at the wrong time, at the wrong place, and so on, that definitely is not advised. Spirituality exhorts us against that kind of slavery to sense pleasures. Now, come back to golden lid. The word apavranu, beautiful. Pushan tat patram hiranmayam patram apavranu. Avranu, avaran is covering. Apavranu is uncover. Uncover the truth. This golden lid is covering the truth. Take away that golden lid. This applies on different levels in life. Suppose you and I have a weakness of the nature of not being able to say no to everything and anything. Somebody calls us for a movie, good idea, I'm joining. Somebody calls us to a restaurant, yeah, yeah, I will join you. What time should I come? Somebody calls us for playing some games, come on, let us play cards. A long time since I played, thank you, I'm coming. To everything. Even work also, suppose we take too much work on our lap, and we won't be able to do justice to the work that we take, right? So there is this issue. Why don't we say no where we have to say no? To say no at the right places where no is good, and to say yes at the right places is, in a sense, common sense. But as Vivekananda said, common sense is not very common. So, the ability to say no when the proposal, when the request, when the demand actually is not reasonable, is also is removing the golden lid. Because if we say yes to everything, then we are stuck in the golden lid. Maybe the whole town says, oh, he helps everybody, oh, he's so kind, oh, they will praise you because they are getting things from you. But you have a greater lakshya, some higher goal. You have certain commitments. There was somebody in a certain town whom people used to praise, and he would give away so many things to all of them, and his wife and children would say, we need it. Why did you give it to that visitor or that customer or that somebody? You should bring that home. That person used to run a shop, and at his shop some certain things used to come. He was running a medical shop. Medical representatives come, and or other dealers. They would also give some complimentary things. Then some customer would come and praise this shopkeeper. You are such a noble, generous person, and whatever just now had come, he would give away. And when the wife came to know, the children came to know those days, they would say, "Hey, you received some complimentary stuff from those dealers, from those business people. You didn't even show it to us and gave away. You never think of us." And that was the complaint. Maybe they were overdoing their side, their part, I don't know. But this person had a habit of saying yes, giving away. So, ability to say no. There are so many books on your power to say no. They are self-help books, and people buy it, read it, but not many change. 999 out of 1,000 people who read such self-help books don't change. They talk about that book next day to their friends over a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm reading this book on, saying no, it is very nice, and so on. They don't live because their attachment to certain habits is too strong. So go on a little higher level. Gold lid or golden lid is various respectable engagements you and I are into. Respectable engagements. You are a singer and people call you to sing. You are a speaker, you go around and speaking. You are, problem solver and people. Maybe there are certain things, there's some good in them. We are not saying it's not like alcohol or smoking or drugs or anything. Helping the society, good. But suppose you are overdoing it, you are neck deep in those things, then that is a golden lid. You may even get Padma Shri from the central government for doing so much for the society. But pause, stop, and think, do I have a higher goal in life? And out of Viveka and Vairagya, Not because somebody told you to stop. You yourself see that of late I have a deep appreciation of Ramana Maharshi's Who Am I inquiry. I need to study more. I need to sit and inquire who am I. I need to follow the teachings of the sage of Arunachala. And every now and then, if I go out and go for so-called social service, where my mind gets then distracted by a lot of other details of the work to be done, how will I ever go deeper and deeper? It is said that even some spiritual sadhanas, like some upasanas, can be the golden lid as compared with pure Atmajnana, pure Atma Vichara. No less a person than Ganapati Muni went up a hill and was doing some upasana, maybe some Sri Vidya upasana. He knew Tantra, he knew some out of the way practices, spiritual practices. So he was doing some complicated upasana for what? For India to gain independence. Maybe it was 1930s or early 1940s. We know that Ganapati Muni was so close to Maharshi Ramana, but still he went up a hill. And then Maharshi Ramana, who loved Ganapati Muni a lot, sent word through somebody, go tell Ganapati not to do those upasanas, call him here. And later Maharshi said to Ganapati, do Atma Vichar. मैं कौन हूँ? Who am I? Nanu yaru? Conduct this. Who am I inquiry? You have such a great grasp of it. As you know, Ganapati Muni actually put into Sanskrit 40 verses on reality, Ulladunapad by Ramana into Sanskrit, known as the great Saddarshanam. Vasishta Ganapati Muni wrote the answers and questions between Ramana and some disciples into Ramana Gita in Sanskrit. And Kapali Shastri wrote a commentary on it. Or is it that way? Yeah. So, or somebody else wrote. Saddarshanam, there is a commentary by Kapali Shastri. Ramana Gita, Saddarshanam, and many other Maharshi, many shlokas he wrote. He was a great scholar. But more than scholarship, he had a very beautiful understanding of the dynamics of who am I inquiring. Otherwise, Ramana would not ask him to come back. You have the skill, you have the potential, you have the capacity to examine the ahankara, the ego in its finest details and eliminate it. The I thought is the golden lid in that sense. Aham vritti is the golden lid. Because in this entire universe, if there is anything we are very fond of, that is we ourselves. I am this, I am that. A self-description, which is aham vritti, is very dear to us. And that is golden lid. We are attached to it. Since we are attached to aham vritti, we fail to see the shuddha aham. Aham vritti is limited. It is describable and it is described. Something, when you describe who you are, it is aham vritti. When you stay with existence awareness, there is no description by thought of what you are, then that is freedom. Whatever you describe yourself as, standing before the mirror, if you, let's say you are already 76-year-old, but you look at yourself, among people who are above 70, I am perhaps the most handsome one in this part of the city. So I am handsome. Even at 76, I am handsome. So I am handsome is I thought. A description physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, in so many ways. You describe yourself and say, I am good or bad, successful or failure, I am worthy or unworthy. Moment such descriptions are made, and who makes those descriptions? Thought, thinking. Then that is I thought. That is the golden bit. No wonder to say one thing more about this removal of the golden lid that covers the face of truth. Yajnavalkya in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, while teaching his own wife Maitreyi in the second chapter, and in a later chapter, speaking to certain other Vedic scholars in the court of King Janaka, and yet another place, 3 or 4 places in Brihadaranyaka, we have this very famous line, Neti Neti. Neti Neti iti sa atma vidneyaha. One has to know one's true nature by negating. Na iti, na iti. Among the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, Shiva represents Neti Neti. He is Samharakarta. He destroys. Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, and Shiva destroys in one description. Otherwise, if your Ishtadevata is Shiva, Shiva is everything. Shiva himself creates, Shiva himself maintains, Shiva himself destroys. Sanatana Dharma's philosophy is intricate. It has its own nuances. And as you understand more and more through proper teachers, you say, yes, yes, there is no contradiction. In a certain way of looking, Shiva is everything. In a certain other, more popular way of looking, Shiva is the Samharakarta. And in the context of the topic of this evening, Shiva helps us do Neti Neti. Let go. Drop it. Nisheda. First Adhyaropa, then Apavada. Apavada here means negation. Don't mix up negation with negative. I did not say Shiva is a very negative God. No, no. Shiva is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Very positive, full of bliss, full of, as North Indians say, masti. Mast hai, Shankarji mast hai. But he is the Lord of negation. He opens the third eye and Kama, Krodha, etc. turn to ash. Our attachments are turned to ash when Lord Shiva opens his third eye. Therefore, friends, the golden lid that covers the face of truth, Hiranmaya Patra, is not outside somewhere. It is false attachments, various slavish tendencies, various dead habits which are still ruling us, governing us, taming us, keeping us under their control. And through satsanga, through vichara, through viveka, certain vairagya arises. That vairagya, without much thinking, without much any other paraphernalia, simply burns away our attachments. We love people, we continue to love people, but we are not clinging to them. We don't rob their space. We don't suffocate them with the so-called love and attachment, etc. We learn to take space and give space. We facilitate each other's growth. Then the negation has happened. The golden lid has moved away. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shivaya.